Great Lakes Prepping here with a taste testing video I am not 100% excited about. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Yoder's bacon in a can. Now, I'm a little bit weird about canned meats in general. A little bit of meat in some soup, something like that, not a problem. But when you take something that seems like it needs to be served fresh and you somehow store it in a can, I'm a little weird about it. I'm a little weird about Spam. I'm a little weird about canned chicken, canned beef. There's something even a little weird to me about canned tuna fish. I'll eat these things, but I'm a little picky. I'm a little apprehensive. Some of the textures, some of the weird congealed fats, they just weird me out a little bit. So I know there's not too many brands that seem to make a canned bacon. There's Yoder's. I've also seen one called Tactical Bacon, which is funny, but it's surely somebody capitalizing on the likes of preppers and survivalists trying to make a clever name that I guess speaks their language. I don't know. The can has a picture of a M16 or thereabouts rifle on the can. Well, this one doesn't have that, but it is camouflaged because you got to make sure your can of bacon isn't discovered when you leave it lying around the woods. So I'm going to pop this open. I'll probably fry a little bit up, maybe eat some just like it comes out of the can, and I'll give you my impression of it. Alright, I'm going to pop this thing open and see what we got. Now, I knew that these came wrapped up in some kind of strip of wax paper or similar. I'm not sure if this will slide right out of there or what. I don't want to go flinging this thing across the room. There's a fine collection of disgusting fat at the bottom of this can. That does not make me real excited. Every part of this paper that I'm touching is just soaked through with fat, which I guess is to be expected. There's actually quite a bit of bacon in here. I don't know how much bacon this would amount to if it was raw bacon. It smells like bacon, I'll say that much. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of pull this all off of these sheets and just pile it up on the plate to see how much I'm really working with here. I'm going to say I am kind of grossed out by touching this. I know this would still be like this if I cooked bacon and then wrapped it in paper. Bacon's greasy, I understand. There's just something a little weird about bacon that was stored in a can for God knows how long. You know, I looked all over this can and I cannot actually find a date anywhere on it. Not a use by date, not an expiration date. The only thing they offer is a refrigerate after opening notice. Now, another thing about this bacon is, they had to do something to it to make it shelf stable. And the ingredients: pork, water, salt, sugar, smoke flavoring, sodium phosphates, sodium, I can't even pronounce this word, erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. So, in case you were worried that this canned bacon didn't have all the essentials, the phosphates and the nitrites and the erythorbates, well, fear not, it's got all of that. I mean, it seems probably about on par with the pre-cooked bacon you would buy or a lot of the stuff you get at restaurants, a lot of fast food restaurants and diners. Jimmy John's is a good example. They use bacon that comes pre-cooked and refrigerated. And the texture is about like this, even when it's on the sandwich. They don't really heat it back up or anything like that. So I'll try a little piece of this and Well, before I do anything, I'm gonna kind of wash my hands so I can reposition this camera. I don't want to touch anything with these hands right now. Well, this wouldn't be a completely fair taste test if I didn't try some of this raw right out of the can. I don't mean raw, I just mean cold right out of the can. So here goes nothing. Well, it tastes like bacon. It's pretty tough. It's almost like bacon jerky. Now, I admittedly did not eat a super fatty piece because I'm just sort of grossed out by the idea of eating that hunk of fat cold. I don't know. It doesn't taste like much. I mean, it tastes, beef jerky tastes like beef, but like beef jerky, not like fresh beef. I'm kind of getting the same out of this bacon. It's sliced super thin. I guess I'm not getting a ton out of each bite. I'll tell you, I'm gonna fry a little bit of this up and just kind of see if it becomes a little bit more palatable, a little bit more like a piece of bacon you might have with some eggs. So let's do that. All right, we got some bacon thrown in the pan here. I don't know what to make of this. It reminds me a lot of Jimmy John's bacon. It's really thin. It's kind of hard, very chewy. Maybe pretty on par with any of the super cheap fast food bacon, but I think even McDonald's has a little bit of a higher quality bacon than this. I know all I'm really doing here is reheating it. I know it's not going to cook anymore because it's already cooked, but maybe if it heats up and some of the fat kind of melts down a little bit, it'll help me recreate the experience of real bacon a little bit. And I don't have any delusions about what this is. This is canned bacon. This to me is survival food. I'm someone that will buy fresh everything if I have the opportunity to do so. I have a ton of dried vegetables, canned vegetables, all sorts of those things, and I'll eat them, but I prefer fresh everything. And I'm fortunate in that I have the means to obtain fresh meats, fresh vegetables pretty much anytime I want them. And the same goes for bacon. Yeah, these things are really stuck together. I don't know. I should have maybe did a little better job of pulling them apart first, but I'm kind of just shredding them when I try. So yeah, to me this is survival food. This is a can that I would put in the pantry. And if I couldn't get meat or bacon or anything like that, I might be pretty happy to see this can of Yoder's survival bacon or some tactical bacon or whatever. I guess they had to make it this thin to properly store. But it's so thin that it's just sort of falling apart. And look at the way that grease is just bubbling up and turning white into like a foam. And that doesn't happen with a fresh piece of bacon, but maybe that happens with the pre-cooked stuff. I honestly don't know if I've ever bought pre-cooked bacon from a store before, so I don't know if that's what it does when you cook it. But this doesn't make me real excited because of this grease foam that's all over the bacon. Now, I don't know, it's probably not going to do much more than what it's done, so I guess I'll take it out of there and maybe try to sop a little bit of that foam off there, and I'll give it a try. Alright, I pulled that bacon out and sort of pressed it between some paper towels. And the foam kind of absorbed off of it, and it got a little crispy. It's still, it's really hot though. I don't know, it crisped up a bit, a little better than I was thinking it might. It's alright. It still doesn't really taste like a crispy piece of fresh bacon. Maybe it's all the nitrates and stuff in there. it's not disgusting. It's not real hateful. Yeah, breakfast time after society falls. My neighbors are out there eating each other. I could see eating some of this with doomsday breakfast. So, I guess in summary, I'm kind of grossed out by what came out of that can. But heat it up on a skillet a little bit, sop some of that foam off. It's not real bad. All of that being said, this one little can of canned bacon cost me $20. So I'm not quite sure if this is the kind of thing I'm going to stock up on just because of that. Once you open it, you got to refrigerate it. I can't eat all that. 3 people shouldn't eat all that in one sitting. You'd probably have a stroke from the blood pressure spike alone. So what could I do with it? I'd have to open it up and maybe waste a lot of it if it wasn't wintertime here in Michigan. So for $20 for one of these cans, the cost-benefit ratio there doesn't really work out in a way that I like it. So I don't think I would buy any more of this. But I always wanted to try it. Well, always. Say in the last year since I first saw the stuff. And more importantly, I wanted to make a video about it in case you were considering buying some. So if you're made out of money and you want bacon, buy a couple of pigs. I don't know if I'd recommend this for the price. But hey, if you're interested, give it a shot. I guess that's about it. I don't think I'm going to eat much more of this because, I don't know, I've had all the canned bacon I can stand for the moment. So until next time, this is Great Lakes Prepping.